Brothers and sisters, generals, welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion. And welcome to EBX and Lord Lamont's channel, because I added that to next to my name, Spell Breakers, at your service. And so this is our channel, and we had a father and son discussion yesterday, and it was dope. And it is now 7 in the morning. Let me see. We got 7:12, and a good day, good afternoon, and good evening, whatever time zone one is in. And be thankful. We are alive and breathing. Guess what? We are back to conquer another day, another year, and another decade. Because we always got to be thankful, because there were those that went to sleep for the last time. That's why I always and forever will honor thy ancestors, far and near. Brother or sister who's a general that got many of us to that great space one is in. As you know, some weeks can be smooth, some weeks can be challenging, some days can be smooth, some days can be challenging. But when we stay with it and stay in that meditation and exploring our mind and always come up with a solution, we can dodge any challenge that comes our way. We deal with things as they come. No one's perfect, but as I say, my son and I spoke on yesterday, positivity is a practice every day. It's always something to learn, So be thankful if we are in that space, and call down protection from that great divine for ourselves and from ourselves, so we never ever become our own worst enemy. We call down that protection on those who may be having a struggle within or on the outside. But if we can't help ourselves, as I love to say, please, I'm begging you, get help. So let's get into it. My generals, divine inner glow of a sister is so undeniable. And I'm going to break that down. And a lot of us educated warrior brothers out there, my general brothers, we know. Salute to the brothers who somewhat are knowledgeable about the female and our sisters. And the divine inner glow of a sister is undeniable, undeniable. And that's what's on the thumbnail. And the banner is be the goddesses you are, and sisters can be phenomenal beyond what the media portrays or what the conditionings that are some of our sisters, or a lot of our sisters, melanated people in general, have been under for decades upon decades. But be thankful for the warriors who are breaking out of that spell. The evil entities down through the years have kept us under for long. Actually, the whole world, but of course, especially melanated brothers and sisters. So that's one thing I will never do, is lose love for my sisters. Even the ones I've been through challenges with. And we get to a point we understand why our sisters, some of them, are the way they are. And we still teach, but we can only help those that want to help, that can, if they're able to, if they're healthy, mind, body, and soul. I always got to throw that in there. They're able to help themselves, We can lead a horse to water, as the whole saying goes. Not that sisters are horses. It's just an example. We can't make them drink it, And of course, it's heartbreaking in some cases, especially if kids are involved. So, we have to do the best we can to watch our behavior and always anticipate our golden years. What we do righteous in the present, something I say a lot, will always and forever benefit us in the future. And that's facts. So, sisters, I'm begging you, be the goddesses you are. And I bring that up, that sisters are phenomenal. And of course, we're gonna have a hip hop break. And I got a song from L'Oreal Lyrical, rest in peace and empower. And Sister Sam K and Angela Jackson, aka Shiree, a song I played before, but I wanted to bring it up and play it because this is for my melanated sisters. And another song I'm gonna play by L'Oreal Lyrical, rest in peace and empower, is I'm Down. Well, which mean when she's saying in the song I'm down, meaning that if she got someone that loves her truly from the soul and down with her, she down with them. So that's what that song is about. So I'm gonna play that in the hip hop break. And again, the song called Phenomenal. And in that song, my son and I, we spoke on that, how they came aggressive, came a little hard, but they knew who they were in that song, and saying that they was beyond a bad beat, so to speak. They was beyond that. No, they phenomenal. Phenomenal is way beyond a bad beat, because a bad bee, what does that mean? So really, just be a lady and be true to oneself. And again, be the goddesses you are, my sisters. And I wanted to speak on a video of I saw that shows that inner glow of a sister. I was watching a video of these sisters double dutching. And how many of us remember, well, probably those from the 70s and around the 70s, we remember the double dutching. Back when kids used to play and all that stuff, we used to be outside. I remember when I was young, because I've been living in Milwaukee off and on, but I remember being young, we used to be out playing 12, 1 o'clock at night. Never had to worry about nothing. But that's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. That's back in the day. But those of us that can remember double dutching. I seen this about a week ago. I was watching some sisters double dutching, and I was so impressed and so amazed. And they were dancing, and the rope was going real fast. And what amazed me is that a lot of these sisters were older. Not old, but older sisters that were double dutching. And I have to say, they were pretty voluptuous. They were voluptuous sisters. And so, but it was amazing to watch them double dutch. But of course, voluptuous sisters, everything bouncing and jiggling. It was kind of funny, actually. And, when you get past the physical and really see the inner glow of a sister and the amazing magnetism they have, it's like art. That's why I got this on the banner, salute. Because that's how I look at my sisters. A work of art, great divine. That force took its time when it made a sister. Real talk. When I watched these sisters double dutch, it sent chills to my body. It was amazing. Anybody can look it up. I'm sorry. I'm sure people have seen it. It was a reel. And but the sisters, what was kind of funny is that the sisters were voluptuous, so the sisters had to hold their hold their breasts. They had to hold stuff together to jump, but they was the double dutching was phenomenal. I was like, how do they do that? And they was dancing and moving around and doing tricks. I was like, that's amazing. So that's what inspired me to say that the divine inner glow of a sister is undeniable. And that's just one gift that a sister has. And we all know, as we all speak on brothers that's educated, salute to my generals who are educated. Man, it's wonderful when brothers, again, are really knowledgeable and know what it is with our sisters. I mean, it's amazing, and it helps you to appreciate them more once we understand them. Even the ones that are toxic, we know why, but don't let it, stop us from having love within, because we'll miss out. If there is love out there, we'll miss out on it. So, but of course, we don't chase it and be desperate. We figure ourselves out as men, as brothers, and change our mindsets, as we all say, and just be ourselves and be amazed the beautiful sisters that we can attract, But yeah, it was phenomenal seeing those sisters double dutching, and as a lot of us brothers say, and sisters that are educated, dancing. It was a divine thing. It was like a code of honor. Our sisters, they used to dance, and the way they danced was magnetic. And there again, as I said in the podcast when I spoke on Left Eye, I spoke on the divine magnetism and the divine honor and code of honor of a sister dancing, and how our African sisters used to dance. I'm talking about back in the day, before the booty popping and all that crap. Their dancing was so magnetic. You looked at them as goddesses because the way they danced was divine. It was more than just intriguing a man. It was a power in them that made that man love them and want to do things for him, give him the world, So that kind of dancing, not dancing to intrigue, lust, that's different. That's not divine. That's trying to attract the human parts of a man. No, we as brothers and sisters, we have to connect to that inner glow that's within us, especially sisters, It's wonderful, man. Divine inner glow of a sister is so undeniable. And again, that's what inspired me when I saw that double dutching. It really took me back to how we entities of the world took us away from the art of how our sisters dance. I mean, I'm not, because back in the day, I used to like, the girls dropping it like it's hot and all that. But if you really break it down and look at it and take the lusting out of it, it really is an art to it that sisters can do that. And only sisters can do that. I don't care if people try to imitate it and all that. No, only sisters have that art, that power, if they just use it in the right way. And I've said this, and other brothers have probably said that. If they said this, excuse me, only if the sisters only knew the power they possess, they could have anything they want. If they didn't manipulate, just be themselves, be patient, meditate, and they will get the things they need. Then the righteous ones will come. Because that's something you hear me say a lot. Great divine gives us what we need. The righteous ones will come. So just some encouragement and advice and amazement I wanted to share with our divine sisters that got the inner glow, and even ones that don't know they have it. Remember, folks, it's so many of us that have come up through dysfunctions and ways of being raised, but we have to find ways to come out of it, and be the best of ourselves. All we got to keep that future in the present, because the future is going to come. We all gonna get old one day. That's real talk. So again, my sisters, be the goddesses you are. Again, that's why I got this on my banner and or thumbnail. That's how I see sisters. They're a work of art. They can be so beautiful, all kinds, short, tall, skinny, heavy set. Man, it's a glow in them. Again, it don't matter the looks. That will fade. And anyway, as I reiterate, and a lot of us great brothers say, salute to my general brothers out there. If you are toxic within, your looks won't mean shit. Because you can take a sister that maybe not be that attractive, as I said so many times before, but can have the most beautiful soul and the most beautiful gifts. And, but it was nice. I'm telling you, it took me back and it refreshed my mind when I saw those sisters double dutching. It was amazing. And I kept watching the reel over and over. It was dope to watch those sisters double dutch like that. I could never do that. I'd be tripping up in the rope and fall and break my neck and every dang on thing. But I thought that was amazing. Salute. And whoever listening, research, current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view. I salute you, my beautiful, wonderful spell breakers. Yeah, but when one get a chance, check out those reels or videos of sisters double dutching. Definitely phenomenal. Real talk. So of course, I'm gonna have some spell breaker statements. I got 5 spell breaker statements, and I want to reiterate the symptoms of stress, emotional and physical. Now my son and we read them, but I kind of wanted to reiterate them because stress applies to every aspect of our lives, so it's good to be knowledgeable about it best way we can. Now, I don't ever want to come off like I'm this expert in things. I'm a relationship expert, none of that. Just going off experiences, self-therapy, and expressing oneself and sharing, giving advice. Like I say I do on this channel. I suggest, teach, and give advice because, as I love to say, folks, I'm learning too, because it's beautiful when we have a student spirit. We are a teacher and a leader, and we teach others to become teachers and leaders themselves, and keep passing that torch on. That's how I go. We don't know everything, but we know thyself. And have that pineal gland open for learning. Not open for everything, my sisters, but for learning. Learn oneself. It's beautiful, We have to have ourselves in the space of learning, not worrying and being negative and thinking the bad of everything. And, just had to get to ourselves and say, what can I do to change me? Because we change us, we can change everything. I love to use that example from Malcolm X, my sisters. Rest in peace and in power. Bring it up all the time. We think right. We think right. We do right. We think right. We act right. We think right. We move right. We think right. We see right. We think right. We eat right. Everything follows when we try and not try. When we do, as hard as we can, we got to stay at it, because the future is going to come. And who wants to be in their golden years fighting all the negative things and all the time we just wasted, and I'll use let's use one celeb as an example. I'm still speaking to my sisters, how we can just throw our what they say, just throw things to the wind, throw our caution to the wind, and just willy-nilly walking through life and not giving a crap how we affect others or ourselves, because that's danger. Now I want to use, now I'm not going to beat up on Will Smith, because I don't like to beat brothers when they kind of going through something, but as we all know, he kind of brought it on himself. And that comes from, now I'm not an expert, now I'm just going off opinion, theory, intuition. When we don't deal with shit within, that's what happens. We implode and then it explodes. Now there's many situations like that situation with Will Smith, and I do hope that brother find peace in his life. I don't want nothing bad to happen to nobody. It's unfortunate that happened to him, but that's what happens when one doesn't deal with shit within. And this sister or brother, but this is an example I'm giving to sisters. Again, I'm not an expert, just going off the woulda, coulda, shouldas one has been through in my life, so, and he's still trying to bounce back from that. It's like the more he tries, and I don't even like that word try, the more he tries, the deeper he falls. He just got to leave it alone and just ask that great divine to forgive him and move on and stop looking for approval from the world. In my opinion, I think that's where Will Smith is making his mistake. He looking for approval from the world. You gotta look for it within yourself. I've been there. I know what it's like. Because the example I love to use, we can do one small. It can be small as crap, but it can affect you for the rest of your life. Like we heard the saying, one night of passion give you a lifetime of pain. Now, a lot of things can apply to that. I'm kind of using the Will Smith thing as an example. Just an isolated thing, but just an example in life. Again, when one is not true to oneself, and things can trigger us, and one small itty bitty thing can F up our whole life. And I reiterate, we spend the rest of our life, our golden years, and we supposed to be enjoying our grandkids and chilling out from the work we put in through life, and we fighting back all that negative energy we've gave out and time that we wasted and impulses, toxic impulses that we jumped off of and still trying to bounce back. So that's what I see in Will Smith, and not just him, many others that don't deal with that crap within. I'm talking about deep to the bottom of the barrels, I like to say, till we hear thong, get underneath all the crap we accumulate over the years in our mind, body, and soul. We can get to that, get to the bottom, the pit of our soul, man, nothing on the outside will be able to F with us. We stay on it, research, stay studying ourselves, and be good brothers for our sisters, and the same for sisters. Be good sisters for our good brothers out here, because there are good brothers in this world, but we have to, as brothers have to be in the space to see good sisters, sisters had to be in the space to see good brothers. And that's what it comes down to. We are who we attract. It took a while for me to realize that, we can't just always think of somebody else. We got to know what we're doing wrong to attract different individuals if we're doing that. Again, not an expert, just advice and sharing experiences. Something I had to learn. We have to know what we're doing to attract certain things or people in our life. So again, be the goddesses you are, my sisters, because I cherish my sisters. Again, I don't let toxic things one has been through stop one from having love within, because we'll miss out. And again, we can't get wrapped up in lusting or the physical, because sometimes we might see a beauty in a sister that's not through the physical. You know what I mean? Sometimes that physical can blind us if we haven't reached that heightened self-awareness. But overall, sister's inner glow is undeniable. That's what makes it so magnetized on the outside sometimes. And when they're beautiful within and they're not full of shit and manipulating and none of that, that's the most beautiful thing in the world, And again, a brother will give a sister the world if they just balance each other and respect each other, and have a issue or a challenge, talk to one another. Don't do things out of convenience just because you can get something out of someone, or you're used to having access to a certain person's life because they got money or whatever. No, I mean, you're just going to be like a hamster on the wheel, waiting on that pellet. So just be true, get ourselves right before we get back out in the so-called dating scene, if that's what we're doing, and be true. If a date don't go well, we can at least say to ourselves as brothers and sisters, we were honest, not because we weren't honest. So if a date don't go right, or a relationship or something, come out of it saying at least we were honest. Don't let it be because it was something petty, because pettiness is a negative magnet for real. We won't see nothing in life with petty stuff, immaturity, especially when you're getting up close to them 50s and you're up to them 60s and you still doing petty shit up in that age and haven't learned anything. I feel sorry for you. Danger, danger, danger. Because I refuse to be a fool in old age, because we all say there's no fool like an old fool. That go for sisters too, so. But again, be the goddesses you are, my sisters, and I will always love my sisters. I will never be bitter, ever. I could be single for the rest of my life. I will always have that love in the pit of my soul, because be thankful if you had aunties, grandmothers, and had a mother in our life that kind of showed us the way about respecting the female and, females in general, but really appreciating our sisters. So I think my aunties, my grandma, and my mom, cousins and stuff, I kind of learned experiences from, and having daughters. That's another thing that gave me a new perspective and a respect for the female in general and sisters, real talk. So I know what it is, but again, I call down protection on those sisters who may be having a trouble, and may that great divine come in their life, and may they find their way, because we all had to go through some type of hardship or struggle, whether it's some worse than others, to get us to a stable place in life, but it always gonna start with self, because everywhere we go, there we are, my sisters. So again, be the goddesses you are. All right, I want to get to this hip-hop break and come back, and I want to dive in about the importance of stress. You hear me talk about stress a lot. As I said, it's like a virus. So we're gonna get to these songs, because I always have a hip hop break, because I love hip hop. Let me see. The first song is called "Hold Me Down" by L'Oreal Lyrical. Rest in peace and in power. And it's just her on this one. And the next one after that is "Phenomenal Chick." I played it before, but they threw down. And again, L'Oreal Lyrical. Rest in peace and in power. We got Sista Sam K and Angela Jackson, aka Shiree, and she did the hook on a song that I mentioned before that I did with L'Oreal Lyrical, 4 verses. We did a song called "Stop the Violence," and she did the hook on that song, and her singing is phenomenal, real talk. So when you hear these sisters flow, you'll see why they named it Phenomenal Chick. But the first song up is "Hold Me Down." That's the name of it, "Hold Me Down." And again, I described in the song, she was saying if she had a real brother holding her down, she'll hold them down. And that's what's up, man. There are some good, wholesome, divine sisters out there. But again, as brothers, and not for my brothers that know this, I'm talking about brothers that may be having some kind of struggle with the dating scene or something. Make sure we right first before we put our sisters down. Make sure we right within, so we can have our facts straight and just be honest. And don't give up on love, brothers. Don't give up, or my sisters. Don't give up. Keep that love at the base. Love ourselves at the root. Divine things will follow. All right. Be back after this. Let me see. "Hold Me Down" by L'Oreal Lyrical. Rest in peace and in power. Be back.
You don't work, you don't eat. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Shit, every year. I know that I'm not looking for ordinary. A simple man, loyally born, period. Eating it how he live, and I can't even know it. Keeping 1.1 million, even stepping up for his team. Tell him I'm looking forward. Not really searching, just waiting up. Stern presence and humble, my rib, I will come from him. Love him till the end, even then be with us then. If wisdom's the key, you got me. To keep him happy would probably be my hobby. He'll hold me down like Bow Wow when he was poppin', and dive in like Drake to keep it luscious. Lots of kisses and hugging, telling me I'm his woman. Nothing could come before that, cause loyalty is the throwback. Honestly makes an impact. Quality time, I need that today. I need to know now. Can you hold me down? Can you stay around? You supportive in the dream. Baby, is you down? We could be a team. You could be the boss. Daddy, I'm the queen. Can you hold me down? I say down. You supportive in the dream. Baby, is you down? We could be a team. You could be the boss. Daddy, I'm the queen. Can you hold me down? Be supportive in the dream.
Right, yeah, that was just a little short sample of L'Oreal Lyrical. Rest in peace and in power. Can you hold me down? I know that's right. Real talk, L'Oreal Lyrical. She was real too. Like I said, she was intelligent, smart. This computer shit was nothing to her. She was so ahead of her time. Rest in peace and in power, cuz be forever missed. Yep, but like I said, every time I speak or Laura Lamont speak, her spirit is right here with us, as well as others in one family, Never let those in our family that we cherish, let their spirit die, Nope. The body may lay to rest, but the spirit lives on, through us, as well as my Aunt Vera. Salute others in my family, Those we held dear, may they rest in peace and in power. Yep. So the next song is Phenomenal Chick. Again, L'Oreal Lyrical, Sister Sam K, and Angela Jackson, a.k.a. Shiree. Phenomenal Chick. Remember, I played this before, but it was dope. And of course, we speaking on my sisters, so of course I'm gonna play some sisters on hip hop because I love hip hop. Be back after this. Phenomenal Chick.
No free, no free. On some rap shit, tryna trap shit, on the map shit, getting that fucking baby, phenomenal team. I talk for one with good credit. I made it wrong ring. I bleed on squeeze. Phenomenal team.
I'm a real unparalleled chick. Don't compare me to no bad bitch. I ain't shit. Better get your mind right if you're trying to stay the night. Niggas got the game fucked, asking about that. Like this is about nice cars, big house, stay fly. Gotta have way more than just to progress. Put it down. For the meal, hands down. Parts in my phenom, way more than the dime. Say you want a real chick, this shit you gotta deal with. Keep my hands on my hips when I'm talking that shit. Oh, so end up in it. From my door for your chick, you need the 10 till your kids get off the tent. You ain't hearing this, money make the world go round. I'ma get it, I bet it make it do go down. Like really? The money keep on coming back, and I'ma know it's West Side.
Yeah, I fuck a bad bitch, I'm a phenomenal team. I talk for one with good credit. I made it wrong ring. I bleed on squeeze. A phenomenal team. Bad bitch, I'm a phenomenal team. I talk for one with good credit. I made it wrong ring. I bleed on squeeze. A phenomenal team. Phenomenal team. Hook saying nothing, gotta spell a whole shit in every room that I enter straight. Conquer that bitch, sometimes my words be so twisted, need a correspondent. Rosetta Stone, off a ball, just to understand it, and even still a little much for your comprehension. Why you worry about that bullshit? That's KB on cash. Money talk so much on my tongue, it's like thresh on my 9 to 5 be clocking straight, busting my ass, but I bust move if I have to off 1 or 2 packs, but I ain't gotta do that. These benefits I'm coolin', focus on this music for a 1K booming, even back for some school and get my resume booming, building an empire while I orchestrate this music. One day I'm a headline, a worldwide tour, till shine time, grind time, gotta secure my future. Bitch, I'm a phenomenal team. I talk for one with good credit. I made it wrong ring. I bleed on squeeze. A phenomenal team. Bitch, I'm a phenomenal team. I talk for one with good credit. I made it wrong ring. I bleed on squeeze. A phenomenal team.
I'm on money, I'm not
I don't give a fuck what you others do. Keep my mind on my next move. Ain't I way ahead of you? Keep money like an addict, cause I gotta have it. Wanna throw it in the backseat. I stay stacking and stacking.
All right. Yep, brothers and sisters, that was Phenomenal Chick. Yep. I hate when that happens. Phenomenal Chick by L'Oreal Lyrical, Sister Sam K, and Shiree. Angela Jackson. Yep. And they got down, and she got, L'Oreal Lyrical got some other songs I've got of her on my channel. Yep. Got a lot of, Be a Lady and Let the Beat Go. That's another couple other songs she got. I got about 5 of her songs maybe. So she got some on SoundCloud. And salute to Black Lab, which produced her music. And those 2 songs I just played. Pretty much all L'Oreal Lyrical's music is from Black Lab. Salute to Black Lab. I got to research them and connect with them. And if I'm not mistaken, Sister Sam K might be that producer, but don't quote me. Yeah, but dope song, Phenomenal Chick. Man, our sisters are goddesses. Phenomenal, real talk. When you really study them and look at their inner core and get past the physical, man, we'll amaze ourselves, brothers. But some of our brothers already know this, right? So we're gonna get back to the Joe, as my son and I say. The EBX and Lord Lamont show. That's the new thing for this channel. The EBX and Lord Lamont show. Sometimes it'll be me and him. Sometimes it'll be just me. EBX discussion. And the next father and son discussion will be, I told my son to bring his guitar, and we're gonna play his guitar. I might show footage, or we might do it on the audio. But he's gonna play his guitar, and I'm gonna spit some bars over it. And I was inspired by Tech 9 when I saw him do that. I thought that was dope. And my son is very good. I'm talking about Lord Lamont. He can play the guitar, and Ethan can play the French horn. He's playing the French horn right now, and he's getting pretty good at it. So, yep, I got to see him too. Got some kind of challenges. I haven't seen Ethan in a few days. Some challenges with that. I just haven't spoke on it, but when we stay with it, we'll come up with a solution. There's always a way, Just let that great divine Mama Nature do what it do. And that's for my sisters and brothers too. Y'all know I like rhyming. But yeah, my son Ethan's doing well. His siblings are doing well. Call down protection on his mom. She's dealing with diabetes and just things that she's been through in life, and some people just can't break past that barrier. I said on the podcast, some people are broken beyond repair, and it's kind of heartbreaking sometimes when you want to do something for someone but they can't do it for themselves. So, but in order to keep ourselves right, those who do have somewhat stability in oneself, we got to keep ourselves right, so it's unfortunate, but we don't lose that love. If we have to teach from a distance, teach from a distance. But as I said in the past, toxicity, narcissism, that kind of stuff can be contagious. That's why we can't be in toxic environments and doing toxic things, because it's contagious, real talk. So it's not an anti-sociable thing. I'm not caring about someone. No, one has to be able to help themselves if they're able to. We have to, especially when we have kids involved. We can't do it ourselves. Get help the best way we can through something or someone we trust. Respect has to be earned, not entitlement, so we gotta get out of that. But that's just a little advice. Again, one's not an expert, just throwing advice out there. I've been through experiences like everyone else. We all have a journey, but at some point we gotta learn. They say it's never too late, but we can't wait too late, right? Because as we see in these times, and sisters know and brothers know, even though this is a podcast for the sisters, time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Man, that's becoming more relevant every day. So that's why I did that podcast, Lord Lamont, and I put on the banner was the picture of the lake where my son Ethan and his brother and his sister and Nika, we went, and that was a good day. So you got to hold on to moments like that and create more memorable moments and stay away from the negative shit. That's for my sisters, and continue being and knowing the goddesses you really are. Again, even my toxic sisters, it's a goddess within them. It's just something that happens in life that deter us or deter sisters away from that goddess within them. Because you ain't gonna find no goddess on the outside, my sisters. I don't care how hard you look. It's, as me, the greatest philosopher says, brother or sister, it's always and forever gonna come within. It's never gonna get away. We never gonna get away from that as a people, All right, so I want to get to a couple of breakdowns on stress. I read them yesterday with my son, but I want to go over them again because I think they're important. And I got 5 spellbreaker statements, and I'm gonna salute you, divine warriors, on to your divine life. So let's go. My goddesses, my sisters with that divine inner glow that's so undeniable, like them sisters I was speaking on that was doing that double dutch. I was amazed by that shit. I'm like, man, our sisters can be dope. Real talk. Our sisters are dope. They can be dope. They are dope once they tap in to that inner glow. Y'all know I like rhyming. All right, so let's go. For my sisters and my leaders and teachers, brothers too, but of course, this is for my sisters. Like, this is how on my banner here, again, it's how I see my sisters. Like artwork. Like the sisters down at the bottom in the corner playing those drums. You got sisters, as I mentioned, I know sisters who are beat makers or DJs. Again, they're following me on X. A lot of producers, and I think that's amazing too. Sisters who can do beats and do music and can rap, but meaningful, like sisters on Arrested Development. Them sisters on there is fucking dope. And you talking about inner glow. Oh my God, go watch that. Go listen to that song, whoever listening. Listen to that. Of course, we know who Arrested Development is. Salute to Arrested Development. And they still holding it down to this day. Very impactful for our black culture. But the sisters on Arrested Development, that song, All I See Is Melanin, that video is so colorful and phenomenal. Now those sisters on there and their hairdos and their skin, man, the epitome of divine inner glow. So go listen to that song, All I See Is Melanin. Beautiful. And the rest of the development, dope. Always have been, still is, and that's dope. So, but yeah. And again, we think back to the sisters that could double dutch. That's amazing, It ain't too many other races can do that. Real talk. Other culture sisters got that down. That double dutching, phenomenal. All right, now I want to get to I'm gonna break down the physical symptoms of bad stress, and then we're gonna talk about the physical symptoms of emotional stress. All right, now I read these before. Remember, they're the same symptoms as a virus. So let's go. My goddesses, my sisters, all right, and leaders and teachers, brothers too, with a student spirit. Let's go. Physical symptoms of bad stress: headaches, muscle tension and pain, fatigue, chest pain or tightness, increased heart rate, digestive problems, nausea, diarrhea, and constipation. And people don't realize, we be thinking it's all other things. A lot, the root of it is stress, because I love to say stress is the root of all sickness, at least a part of it, in my opinion. Sleep disturbances, and insomnia, nightmares. I haven't had nightmares in a while. Most of my dreams either be intuitive or I have hero dreams. I swear, real talk. I just talked about a dream recently. I had a dream I was saving the kids, That's because who we are at the base, a lot of times, is what we dream about, in one's opinion. If we think about changing the world and adding to humanity and our culture, we cultivate positive energy and we always trying to find solutions in life, those are the things that we will harbor in our subconscious, sisters. Okay. Weakened immune system, increased susceptibility to illness. Yeah. Okay, read that again. I kind of fumbled that word. Weakened immune system. Something I speak on all the time. Increased susceptibility to illnesses. Yeah. Because when you have full blown stress within and you're not aware, and you just, your mind's all over the place. It's like an open wound. It's just you're opening yourself up for any disease to enter. At least stress is part of that. All right, now let's move over to the emotional. Now this is where it comes into being mindful of our behavior and changing ourselves within. Okay, anxiety, imbalance, emotional, let me see. Yeah. Okay, go back. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, emotional symptoms of bad stress. Okay, here we go. Emotional symptoms of bad stress, negative stress, anxiety or worry, irritability or mood swings, depression, feeling overwhelmed or out of control. Ooh, if you feeling out of control, danger, difficulty concentrating or making decisions, social withdrawal if it's for the wrong reason. It's okay to withdraw sometimes, but not to hide from a problem or be in denial. All right. Okay. Behavioral symptoms bad for stress. Symptoms of bad stress. Again, there's some more symptoms. Procrastination or avoidance. Remember I said procrastination was one of my battles I had to deal with. Increased substance use. Alcohol or drugs. Yep. Changes in eating habits. Overeating or undereating. Yep. We eat to take care of the body, not to overeat and be a glutton, All right. Cause sometimes depending on the foods we eat, how we eat, when we eat, in my opinion, and what I've experienced from like friends I've known in the past that had blood clots, I think overeating, eating a lot, and if we don't like let our body clean out sometimes, like especially if we eat a lot of meat, because I ain't gonna lie, I eat meat sometimes, but I'm not over excessive with meat, because we have to give food time to digest. And when we're overeating, especially if it's a lot of meat, that's where the blood clots come in, stuff like that, just in one's opinion. But we research, we learn these things. I'm not a doctor, just learning, as I say. All right. Changes in eating habits, overeating or undereating, neglecting personal hygiene. That's what emotional stress can do, make you not want to do nothing. Or appearance, wanting to realize how our appearance look. Difficulty performing daily tasks, like things you normally do, you have anxiety about it. Yep. And the thing about we won't even realize about our appearance, like I said, when I go down Lisbon Street, when I go see my son Ethan, my older sisters out on the streetwalkers, I'm trying to be polite about it, but we know what streetwalkers are, and it's sad to see that sisters up in age still out here on these streets trying to sell their body. It's like I ponder like what went wrong in their life, and they have they can't be aware. They don't look old enough. Nobody should be out on the street selling their body at all. But it's heartbreaking to see older sisters, and I don't know, they still think they look sexy. Not trying to put them down, but it's unfortunate. Where they it's like no direction. It's like they're trapped. So. I never would want no bad on no one, because again, what we harbor inside does matter. That's the energy we will exude if we have toxic things within ourselves. That's why I say dealing with someone toxic or have narcissistic traits or full blown, it can be contagious. It will have us acting narcissistic. So that's why we have to build up boundaries sometimes. It's unfortunate, but to keep peace in oneself and keep ourselves whole and sane, sisters, my goddesses, so we as brothers can be the guides we are, and then we can help our sisters, show them and teach them, and just let them know that we love them, and we know that they are the god. They can be the goddesses. Be the goddesses. You are my sisters, real talk, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Yep. So that was some things I wanted to read about stress. Now let's move over to sowing righteous seeds. Okay, sowing righteous seeds is a metaphor for acting with integrity, kindness, knowing, not knowing everything, but knowing thyself. This is for my sisters. And obedience to that great divine, not obedience where we're a robot, just paying attention to that goddess spirit within you, my sister. Listen to your goddess intuition, your power. Know the power you possess without manipulation, lying, tricking, none of that. Just be who you are, be amazed. The great divine things will follow, my sisters, my goddesses. The benefits are reaped over time. Have to have patience, sometimes silence. Meditate daily, all right? Indoor deep prayer. Whatever one does to get to their soul, to keep their self together and whole. I tell you, I be rhyming. I don't be meaning to, okay? Transforming both the individual and our surroundings. Remember I talked about toxic things, narcissism. And narcissism don't always have to be people. It can be, that's why I say person, place, thing. It could come through things. It could come through the media. It can come through the news. Things like that. Narcissism is all around us. As I like to say, melanated, this for my sisters, but melanated brothers and sisters, narcissism didn't come from us. We were infected with that. So ponder that. Think about that. All right. Okay. The core principle is we reap what we sow. We hear that a lot, but it's great when we actually live in it and we see it. That things take time. We got to get away from this microwave thinking, meaning that righteous actions yield positive. Let me see. Yep. And often abundant returns. When they say yield positive, it's like, in other words, being patient. We act while we sow seeds. We don't sit back and say and wait on things. No, we have to put in the action. We can't things just gonna come. We have to be seekers. We have to be knowers, doers. Righteously know, and things will come. But we got to put in that action, because great divine and mama nature is like a parent. It will show us the way if we're in that space to see, my sisters. If we to see the signs. We know, my son and I, Lord Lamont, we discuss. We know in our gut if we need to do something, or we have a concern about something, or something wrong or right. It comes down to choices and how we are in that core as an individual. For brothers, but of course this podcast is for my sisters, my goddesses. And I've met a lot of goddesses along the way, even those that don't know that they are goddesses. When you come across me, you're gonna find out whether it's if I have to show tough love or just love in general. All right. And often abundant returns after we went through the layers and studied and not hurt no one else, because hurting someone else intentionally, it's not going to get us anywhere at all. Even if we have rotten thoughts about individuals, it always matters what's in our core. We're not hiding anything. Remember, we got that great divine mama nature and that universe. It feeds off positive energy. So you just deflecting things. I'm still speaking to my sisters. One is deflecting good things that can come. If you harbor malice, manipulative ways, only do things out of when it's convenient for you, or pretending to get something, you just being a hamster on the wheel. You be in a rat race for the rest of your life, and that's sad. So I don't want that for one, sisters. All right. In large harvest of righteousness, as we sow generosity, we can expect an increase in the fruits of our righteous, leading to greater peace, joy, and closer relationships, friendship, brotherhood, sisterhood, whether it's romantic or friend, with that great divine. Always had that great divine in the pit of our soul. And the fires we have blazed through, that's our divine evidence to my sisters. All right. Now I'm going to run through these 5 spell breaker statements. And again, I'm going to salute my goddesses and my brothers that are listening, because this is for my sisters, but of course, my brothers and sisters and family. I'm going to read these spell breaker statements, and I'm going to salute you, divine warrior zone, to your divine life. Spell breaker number 1, leaders and teachers with a student spirit. Let's go. Spell breaker statement number 1, give a man the ultimate respect and he'll give you the world, my sisters. And some sisters are fortunate to have men like this, have met men or got brothers like this. So be thankful. Don't take a good brother for granted. You know, if you see a brother that's doing, not trying, doing and standing on business, sisters, please, I beg you, don't take it for granted, because you'll never find that good brother again. And again, I reiterate, it starts by fixing oneself. We are who we attract. And that's for me too. Spell breaker statement number 2, just be honest. Goes for me too. Just be honest off the bat. Even if things don't work out, we can at least say we were honest, you know? And don't carry toxicity from relationship to relationship. We have to see if we're doing something wrong. And I'm kind of speaking for brothers and sisters, but again, it's for my sisters. Spell breaker statement number 3, think about our health and our future and our present. You know, again, what we do righteous in the present will ultimately benefit us in the future, hands down. That's facts. Many of us have experienced this or experiencing this. We have to put in the work, mind, body, and soul. All right, spell breaker statement number 4, be mindful of our own behavior. You know, instead of looking at everybody else. Again, it goes back to knowing thyself. All right. Sow righteous seeds. Okay, I read that already because that was part of that statement. Okay, spell breaker statement number 5. Don't become bitter. Bitterness is poison. And when one has bitter within them, as I said about narcissism and toxic behavior in individuals, it can become contagious and it'll get on us and we won't realize it, you know. So somebody have to do right. Everybody can't be toxic, you know. So again, we have to know it's always going to come back to oneself. I reiterate, everywhere we go, there we are. And get out of our own head, you know. Listen, learn, you know, as my son Lord Lamont and I do. We listen to each other. I don't ever, you know, I let him speak his piece, you know. I let him be him, you know. I don't try to take over the conversation and think I know more than him. And no, we gotta get out of that too. And I just want to throw a little side note. Now I'm saying it's kind of off topic a little bit, but I've seen parents who do this, and it could be male or female, brother or sister. Now, I'm not saying all do this, but some. We say we want our children to be better, but we have those parents that be, I don't know if it's jealous or threatened by a child that end up maybe being a little wiser and a little more educated. Each generation is different, especially in these times. A lot of our youth are pretty intelligent. So we want them to be more intelligent. We want them to know a little more than us, because the time they're coming in is going to be way different than a lot of us 70 babies and around the 70s. Even though a lot of us are on fire, those of us that come from around the 70s era, trust me, the warriors, we good. We generals out here. Don't get me wrong, but the youth, the ones that's coming behind us, they coming into a whole different time. So it's getting to the point, you better be intelligent. I mean, and it's more than just education, just aware of oneself. One better be aware in these times, you know. So just throwing a little advice out there, like I always do. So that was in one spirit. But this was all about my sisters, you know, and that divine inner glow of a sister is so freaking undeniable all day long. I'm telling you, you know, I've seen it in sisters, you know. And again, and I'm not just talking about the physical, you know. I always bring up the sister that drives the bus that comes to my job to use the bathroom all the time. And she's not ugly, she's pretty, but she's not what the world would think is what, quotation marks, beauty is supposed to be. But she has this spirit about her that's undeniable. And that kind of inspired me to do this video, you know. And I told my son about her. She's just always smiling, she's always happy, she knows herself. I love it. She always speaks when she comes in. I love that. But, you know, again, it's that conditioning, folks. Can't break a spell unless we know we're under one. I've been there. A lot of us have. That's why we got a lot of these warriors and generals out here, because we fought through the so-called dysfunctions that some of us may have come through. You know, be thankful if we are at a place of awareness, my sisters, you know, and stay with it. And be thankful for the sisters who are teaching out there and being real about the female and the female in general, but my sisters. I will never become bitter. I will always find ways to make myself better. I got to make sure I'm right before I look at someone else or assess someone else. So, and just be honest. Again, even when things don't work out, we can at least say we were honest, right? Because it's just for a feeling and it's good for our immune system. That's something we got to think about. Again, I told my son, Lord Lamont, when I told the sister I was just talking about the immune system, she looked at me in amazement because it's just something we never think about. You don't hear people talking about stuff like that. So pay attention to the things we do so we can keep our immune system strong, so we can be healthy within mind, body, and soul. Yep. So those were some things that was in my spirit. Thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX Discussion and the EBX and Lord Lamont show. Again, sometimes by myself, sometimes he'll be speaking. That's my comrade, my son. And who better than my son? So stay with it. Those who've been riding along, the spell breakers that's been listening to our music, and you get anything positive out of what I say and Lord Lamont say, please take that positive energy, pass it on to someone else. And my sisters, I love you, and I will always be learning. I will never ever let the media, the images, things that people do or whatever, I will never become bitter toward my sisters. I will always have a love for my sisters, because I know the struggles that evil entities has put on us for decades upon decades. But us brothers out here that really love our sisters, we can't help you if you don't get help for oneself. So it's a God that's in you, my sister, if you just reach within. Again, that divine inner glow of a sister, man, it sends chills to my body. It's so undeniable when I see those sisters double dutch, and it's amazing. When we really do see the art in our sisters, like my banner. They're like a work of art. Great Divine took his time when he made our sisters. Don't you think so? Wouldn't you agree, my brothers? So, as I said before, and I say it again, my sisters, man, never stop loving yourself. And if you have a challenge, tackle it, deal with it, so it don't fester on into your golden years, my sisters. Because I want the best for my sisters, my brothers too, but this for my sisters. I want you to see divine things in your life, so we can see divine things in our children's life. So, my sisters, again, please, I'm begging you, be the goddesses you are. Salute. This has been brought to you by Mama Nature and that Great Divine. Salute.